are you guys doing today? I hope that everyone is doing wonderful and well, per usual, on this good Monday morning. I believe that it is May the 12th, 2025, and it is 8:59 a.m. here in Detroit, Michigan. I'm actually supposed to be in Canton, Michigan right now because I had a dentist appointment. However, my brother decided that he wanted to take my kids to school this morning. So therefore, again, I'm not going to be able to make it to my dentist appointment. But I wonder what my brother got to do because it seems like every time I need to use his little truck to do something, he always got to do something, but he ain't ever got shit to do. But anyway, so FYI, I am not at the dentist. Matter of fact, when I get done with this video, well, they're gonna know I ain't come to the dentist anyway. So I didn't come to this appointment and I didn't go to my last appointment because transportation doesn't work for me, and my brother always got something to do. So yeah, but anyway, and I just tried to go live on Facebook, but I couldn't go live on Facebook because they said I got bad internet service. However, I get on YouTube and my internet is working perfectly fine, per usual. I think they was mad at that message that I put out this morning, but oh well, it's the truth. And that's how you know some of these hoes be working for Facebook and shit. Anyway. And you used to be able to get monetized for your reels and like the music that plays in the reels and stuff like that, but now you can't get monetized, or at least on my page you can't. So that is so funny to me how Mark Zuck and his company and Meta be working and shit like that. However, Meta AI, y'all work for me. Just know that y'all work for me. So I don't be complaining. I just be chilling or whatever. I had just got done eating me a bowl of noodles and they were so good. I actually might make me another bowl. But speaking of that video that I did this morning, I said I was gonna go to Walmart after I take my kids to school and I was gonna put everything in my cart and walk right out that bitch because I did a Walmart delivery order 3 days ago and it still hadn't been delivered. So I said as soon as I took my kids to school this morning, I was gonna go to Walmart and take the stuff because it's already paid for. They hurried up and sent me that motherfucking refund this morning. As soon as I got done with that video, as the fuck they should. Cause what the fuck y'all gonna keep on delaying for, and then gonna tell me that I can't cancel it because it's already been set out and prepared for delivery. That was 3 days ago. When I'm supposed to get some rotten ass meat or some shit. But anywho, maybe I might find me something to watch. I made the video yesterday when I was saying I just had got done watching Wicked City, which is on All Black TV or Amazon Prime or whatever. Me, Lily, Mari, and Mally had finished watching season 2, and we watched season 3 yesterday as well. And one of my old friends, Jarena, she happened to comment on the status, I mean, on one of my YouTube videos, and she was saying that season 3 was out. But I had got the free trial, and me and my kids started watching season 1, 2, and 3 like 3 days ago, or 2 or 3 days ago, or whatever. It didn't take us long to catch up on the series or whatnot. And we had finished it yesterday, but it was so funny because Jarena was telling me like the season 3 was out, and in season 3 they had to defeat this demon or whatever. She was basically like summoned up. She was supposed to be sealed away, and the demon reminds me of my old friend Jarena, like because she had those two big puff balls. And the last time I seen Jarena, which was like around this time last year, she was wearing those two big ass puff balls and shit, and she was acting weird and crazy like that in the tub, talking about some. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself. And she was in the bathroom, and me and my kids was just outside in the living room, like, what the fuck is wrong with her? So that was so funny to me that she had said that or whatever. That's the dentist office right now telling me that I got a scheduled appointment that I'm supposed to be at. Which I really want to go to my dentist appointment, but it's okay or whatever. I guess I ain't gonna be going till I get me a car or whatnot, but that's cool. My teeth don't look too bad. I want to get them clean though, like. You know how you go to the dentist? For one, before I get my braces put back on, I have to get my teeth cleaned. And I want to get the back of my teeth cleaned or whatever. You know how you go to the dentist, they scrape off any excess like tar buildup that you might have. And for me, the last time I got my teeth cleaned professionally, like by a dentist, was right before I got my braces put on. So that was a few years ago. So my teeth actually don't look bad for the amount of time that it's been without me going to the dentist or whatever. I mean, I do brush them, so you know. But sometimes I just want to get my teeth clean. Sometimes if you don't get the tarp build up off, it can cause you to have like bad breath or anything like that. So I want to get it taken care of. But every time I try to schedule transportation, I can't get it, and I be having a problem driving my brother's truck. So in the meantime and in between time, I'm just gonna be continuing to brush my teeth and take care of my oral health that way or whatever. But I do want to get it taken care of. I do want to get my braces put back on, but I mean, when the time is right, it'll happen. So I'm not gonna complain. But I just want to give gratitude. Thanks. I be going through so much, like even in the midst of it all, being put out of my house, being back here at my brother's house, having to sleep on the couch and everything, deal with all five of my kids. Rush is graduation time. It's prime time. I got three people graduating because Lily is going to the ninth grade. Alexis is graduating out of high school, and Malachi is graduating from kindergarten. So I have three of my children graduating this year, and it's such a hard time for me right now because I need to, for one, make sure that they get into and from school. And let me see, I've been without a car for 8 months. 8 months now. Sorry. Damn, what was that? My nose had just got clogged up out of nowhere. What? Anyway, I've been without a car for 8 months now, and this has been the hardest 8 months or whatever. But I'm just trying to make sure that my kids can continue to go to school so that they can graduate, because they want to go ahead and get them some summer jobs. Lex want to figure out if she want to work for a minute and then go to college, or if she's going to go straight into college and things like that. So I'm trying to just keep a sane mind and my head on my shoulders myself, despite everything that I'm going through, to make sure my kids can do what they need to do. So I be pushing and pushing. Don't nobody know what the fuck I be going through. And to go through everything that I've been through for the last 5 years and still get up every day with my head held up high. And I don't pop no pills. I don't drink no lean. I don't do no type of drugs. I smoke weed, and I haven't even smoked weed in 2 days. I have a sane mind, okay? No matter what I'm fighting for. You know how people be saying you be fighting your demons and they be acting crazy and shit. I gotta stay sane in the midst of fighting my demons because I got five motherfucking kids that depend on me. So, you know, I be proud of myself even through the fucked up ass shit that be going on. And if you watch my video that I posted this morning, I went live on Facebook this morning. I was able to. But when I just tried to go live again, of course they blocked up all my pages, so I can't go live. They swear up and down I don't got no internet connection, but as Xfinity said, the Wi-Fi booming up in this bitch. So anyway, I just somebody's watching me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Back at you. I send nothing but love, joy, peace, and happiness and abundance to you too. And I appreciate that. Thank you. But I yesterday was Mother's Day. Everybody know my mom's deceased. But my mother has been in my energy so heavy lately. So heavy. My mom has been deceased for 21 years now. I did the math yesterday. And my grandmother deceased for 11 years, my mom's mom, which was the two women that raised me. So Mother's Day, they be kind of hard. Um, but I made it. And it's like, I feel like I wasn't supposed to make it past Mother's Day yesterday. Like, I was supposed to be set up for something. And people expected something to happen to me on Mother's Day. And people expected for me to be so down and depressed. Even my older two kids, they wasn't here. It was just me and my younger three kids. And I feel like I'm sorry for wiping my nose and crying and stuff like this, but I mean, it's just my raw, authentic, natural self. I'm sorry, I can't help it. However, I can go get some tissue. So wait 1 second. Oh, I can't even get no tissue. And bring my towel back. But I feel as if people wanted me to really be down and out or whatever. And like I said, even my kids wasn't here. They daddy didn't bring them here till about 9:30 last night or somewhere up in there. And I feel. as if I accomplished something so big. And my mom's energy, her presence was around me yesterday. That's probably why I got up this morning too, talking about the things that I was talking about, like from my childhood and childhood traumas and things like that. My mom was going through a lot of the same stuff that I go through now, and she was dealing with so much, and her heart used to be so heavy. And even when I was 2, 3 years old, you know how they say if you have children, God know exactly when to bless you with kids because He gonna bless you with somebody who gonna love you back. I really feel like I was my mom's gift because she went through so much. She went through domestic violence terribly. She was so sick, like between dialysis and kidney failure and diabetes and stuff. She was so sick. My mama died. She was 32 years old. I was 14 years old. And that was my best friend. And I really took care of her. Like, she was so sick that for me to be such a little kid, I used to go to school, come home from school, cook dinner for my mama, my brother. You know, I used to do that shit as a little girl. That's why I grew up selling food and cooking and shit. But she was so sick. And then it came a point in time when she got on dialysis and she got so sick that she couldn't go to a dialysis center. So she was doing dialysis from home. And that's why I was telling people before I even knew what a CNA was, I knew how to drip an IV and draw blood and all that type of stuff because for like 3 weeks, my mama, she couldn't even go to the dialysis center because her immune system was so low. She had to do dialysis from home. And she had a stroke at home one day too. I was getting dressed, getting ready to go to school. My mama had had a stroke. And I was waking her up to take me and Denzel to school. And she wouldn't wake up. It's just like her eyes would open and she just started shaking like she was having a seizure or something. So I had called 911 and I called my grandma too. And my grandma lived all the way out in Southfield. However, my grandma still beat the ambulance to the house. This and I was in the 7th grade when this happened. And it's like she would have a seizure every 10 minutes, but she was really having a stroke. Because when she got to the hospital, they told her she was having a mild stroke, and that's why her mouth kept turning to the side. And it's like her body was sinking in. She couldn't breathe, like exhale out. It's just like she was only inhaling in or something like that. And I kept getting those visions last night of like all the times that my mama was going through so much pain and so much trauma, and I was right there taking care of her though, as if I was an adult, but I was a little ass kid. And I remember the shit, even down to the day where I said I went to the hospital the morning that my mama passed away, and how they was trying to resuscitate her and they was cutting her body up and shit, and the doctor started yelling because he was like, "Why would y'all let her watch this happen? This is her mother." It's like for some reason my mama's spirit wanted me to just go and relive all those tragic moments yesterday, so she could see like, "Oh yeah, you helped me anytime I needed you to. Like when I couldn't cook for y'all, you cooked. When I couldn't do your hair, you managed. When I couldn't be a mom, when I died, you still kept going." It's like don't ever give up on yourself. Don't ever let nobody tell you you less than a woman, you less of a mother. Like you've been through so much, Aliyah. And she was telling me this yesterday on Mother's Day. Like you went through so much. And when my mama died, my grandma died 10 years later. So my mom died when I was 14. My grandma died when I was 24. But when my mom died and I had to go live with my grandma, then my grandma kidneys failed and my grandma got on dialysis. So the same exact thing that I had went through with my mama, I went through right back again with my grandma. Worse, because not only did my grandma kidneys fail and she had to go to dialysis, she was then diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer and lymphoma. So to I never had the opportunity to just be a child. And that's what they was telling me today, yesterday on Mother's Day. Like, you did so much for us as your mother, as your grandmother. You never had the chance to live as a child. And now we want you to do that. Like, go have childlike energy. Go meet your inner child. Enjoy yourself. Live a little because you never had the opportunity. You'll never have the freedom to be a kid because you always had so much responsibility. So I was dealing with that yesterday too, in the midst of the whole Mother's Day taking place and everything. I was really channeling the energy, feeling the energy from my mom and my grandmother. And they were saying, like, Aaliyah, everything is okay. It's okay. Like, we know what you was doing and shit like that. So, I had to get that off my chest. And I feel good crying about it, letting it out and stuff like that. And this is my digital diary. If somebody happens to see it, they see it. If they don't, they don't. But it's good to let this shit out. And it's good to get the validation from the ones that I love. Like, they knew how much I loved them. And they loved me the same way in return. And granted, they're not here with me physically, they're always here with me spiritually. And on Mother's Day, I wasn't alone because I was surrounded by my mom and my grandmother's spirit. It's like they felt like they needed to be around me and it felt good. If that makes sense to people. It might not, but it makes perfect sense to me. So it's like they had to remind me of how much I did for them. Because it's like I forgot that myself. Like, I forgot that I've ever had the opportunity to be a child. Granted, I had my first child, I was 17 years old. However, previously, before that, I wasn't able to be a child. My mom got sick. She was on dialysis. She got put on dialysis when I was 8 years old. So, ever since basically the age of 8 years old, I kind of been like a grown person. I had to. And I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize what growing up too fast was or why I did this. I had a job. I was 15. My grandma friend had owned a restaurant. I had a job. I had a car. I was responsible for paying my own cell phone bill and stuff like that. And because my mother had died, I was receiving Social Security death benefits. So my grandma was trying to like teach me responsibility and how to pay this with the little bit of money that I was getting from death benefits and things like that. I never knew how to be a kid. When my grandma got sick, first of all, both of my grandma's legs was amputated. So when I say I've been a CNA my whole entire life, ever since I was a little teenager, I've been transferring my grandma's because both of her legs was amputated. She got My grandma had started having problems with gangrene. So she started off with just her toes being amputated. Then it went up to like her foot. Then it went up to like about this part of her leg, up a little bit below her knee, was amputated on both of her legs. So I was doing that with her, going to these surgeries, getting her legs amputated. Then I had to go through rehabilitation with her. Then I had to go with her so she could get fitted for prosthetics. Then she had to learn how to walk with the prosthetics, learn how to be on crutches with prosthetics and things like that. And she was older, so it was difficult for her. So I knew how to deal with that. On top of her being on dialysis, on top of her dealing with kidney failure, congestive heart failure, diabetes, then getting cancer. I've been a fucking doctor slash CNA my whole fucking life. And I'm not complaining about it because I love them dearly. But that's what I'm saying. I didn't even notice how much I didn't have a childhood because I was too busy taking care of the people who took care of me. So they was telling me like, Aaliyah, we remember all of that. And my grandma, she was channeling to me yesterday, like, I wouldn't have been able to make it that far without you. And I'm saying my grandma was one of the strongest women I know. Again, to have both her legs amputated, stage 4 cancer, she was such a fighter. And she kept going. She just kept going. So the day that my grandma passed away, and she kept telling me when I walked in the hospital room, first of all, she was in a coma before she passed away. So when I walked in the hospital room on the day that she died and she started talking to me, it kind of shocked the fuck out of me, really. And she just like, Aaliyah, I'm sorry. Because I'm like, hey, grandma, I'm here. My normal greeting when I used to make it to the hospital to see my grandma or whatever. So I'm like, hey, grandma, I'm here. And she was like, Aaliyah, I'm sorry. But I gotta go. Like I gotta leave you. I don't want to, but I do. Like my grandma was just telling me she was about to die. But the night before, when I went to the hospital, she told me she was gonna die because when I got ready to leave, she was like, "I'm like, okay, grandma, I'll be back in the morning after I drop the kids off at school." She was like, "Oh, Aliyah, you don't gotta come in the morning. I'm not gonna be here." I'm like, "Yes, you is. Where you gonna be at?" She was like, "I'm not gonna be here." She's like, "I'm gonna die tonight." And I'm like, no, you my grandma, don't say that. And sure enough, I got up the next morning. I took my kids to school. I went up to the hospital. My grandma died at Boxford Hospital in pharmacy. Or is that Pharmacy Hills? Whichever one. I got up. I took my kids to school. I went to the hospital. I walked in there. Mind you, everybody knew me at the hospital. When my mama was in the hospital before she died, the whole hospital knew me as a little teenager. They knew my name. And when my grandma died, the hospitals, they knew my name. The rehab centers, they knew me because I used to go see my grandma every day. So I walked in or whatever. I'm like, oh, grandma, I'm here. She's like, I'm sorry. I got to go. And my baby daddy at the time, Al, he was there with me. And, I tell a story all the time. And I'm like, Grandma, you about to go? She's like, yeah, I'm about to go. And then she started getting a little anxious, short of breath. And I had just put my grandma on hospice. She was only on hospice for like 2 or 3 days before she passed away. And I had called the hospice nurse in, and I'm like, okay, grandma, okay, my grandma, she can't breathe. She's getting anxious. She needs something like Roxanol. I think they had her on Roxanol, if I'm not mistaken, to, help with her breathing and stuff. And as soon as the nurse came and gave her the Roxanol, my grandma was out. She was gone in like, I think it took 6 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And she took her last breath, and her eyes just popped open, just like when my mama died. But when my mama died and her eyes popped open, I was scared. And my grandma, she like, don't ever be scared of your mama. She went and she closed my mama's eyes. But when my grandma died, her eyes popped open like that too, and I was afraid. And I'm like, ow. I asked my baby daddy, I said, can you go close my grandma's eyes for me? And he did. He went and closed my grandma's eyes, and then that was just that. And my grandma and my mom was telling me, like, you've been through so much tragic ass shit. And you was there for us every step of the way. Don't you ever let nobody take that shit away from you. Don't ever let nobody down talk you, down talk your parenting, down talk you as a woman or anything that you went through. So they was really coming to me on Mother's Day. And I needed it. I needed it. And they was telling me again, go enjoy yourself. Go be in childlike energy because you deserve it. You never had the opportunity. Never. It don't matter about me having my daughter when I was 17 years old. I never had the opportunity. Again, my grandma, she was sick. I used to have to go cash her Social Security disability checks, take them, cash them at the bank until she got direct deposit. Go get the rent money order. Go pay DTE. Go to the lights company. Go do all of this type of shit. I used to have to do that. Fill out all the Section 8 papers. Make sure that they turned in on time. Because if we don't turn in the Section 8 papers on time, then my grandma gets kicked off the Section 8. Then we don't got nowhere to stay. Because she was on a strict budget of fixed income. Because she was sick as fuck too. So I had to be doing all of that shit when I was a kid. And I had my license since I was 14 in 9 months. And I was able to get my license early because my grandma's legs was cut off. So she couldn't really drive like that. She couldn't drive me to and from school, and she was going to dialysis. So I would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, take my grandma to dialysis. Then I would from there go to school. And then at my lunch break at school, I would leave school, go pick my grandma up from dialysis, drop her back off at home, and then I would go back to school. So even all of that, it's like you never had the opportunity to be a kid because even in your kid years, you was doing the shit that grown people should be doing. So go and live and enjoy right now. And they right. I never had that opportunity. Never. Because it's always been some responsibility for me, even as a kid. So until my grandma, she then got on transportation because my cousin, I think that's my cousin, Anna, she owned a transportation company. And eventually, my grandma had to end up signing up for a transportation company because it was becoming too much for me going to school, taking my grandma to school, dealing with my kids, and me still just being a teenager and shit. It was a lot. So she had finally got to get on transportation. So they telling me like, girl, you been grown all your motherfucking life. Relax. And people don't be understanding that. When I say I need to retire, I've been working my whole life. I really have. But I didn't even know it. I didn't consider it as work. I considered it as love. I was loving my mother,